Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Most of these questions are actually of a personal nature, so I don't mind answering them. But I do want to begin by stating that it is not my methodology. For those who listen to my lectures or follow me on YouTube or Facebook, it is not my methodology to engage too much with critics for many reasons. Of them, frankly, because I honestly believe that, may Allah protect me from arrogance, but I honestly believe that my ego is not worthy of me having to defend it. There are far more important things in the ummah than me having to respond to critics. I also believe that by and large, criticism is something that is a part of human life and nature, and that we have ourselves to accomplish more than just responding to what people say about us. And I also learned from our Prophet ﷺ that, and mark my words here, and I have lived with this for 20 years of my life, giving da'wah, and I continue to live with it, inshaAllah. The best way to silence the speech of the critics is through the deafening noise of your own actions. And this is the methodology I have lived by for 20 years, and inshallah I pray to continue to live by. I don't like getting involved with the petty issue of these things. Nonetheless, sometimes people do ask, and I try my best to be as generic as possible in my responses. Also realize that criticizing is the job that requires zero qualifications. And the best example for this is when you guys watch your sports. And yesterday was a major loss. I'm not going to get very sensitive here, okay? I don't know what side you guys are on. But no doubt, as you were watching the match yesterday, many amongst you said, oh my God, I could have done that. Why didn't you do this? Anybody could have, taken the ball. No, you couldn't have. And if you had been on the pitch and on the field, well, you know what would have happened, right? Anybody can be a critic. You don't need any qualifications. And criticizing others does not build anything. Criticizing others destroys, and it does not build. So I try my best to minimize my own criticisms and also to minimize wasting my time with also responding to critics, but sometimes just to be generic about these things. So people are asking about a lecture about moderation, 7 questions about me. Number 1, some people claim you don't respect senior scholars of the ummah. Can you please explain? La hawla la quwwata illa billah. The scholars are the inheritors of the prophets, al-ulama warathatul anbiya. And anybody who disparages scholars of Islam disparages Islam. And anybody who says, don't turn to the scholars and don't listen to the scholars is setting up the ummah for disaster. However, what this misinterpretation or misunderstanding is that what I am saying, ask scholars who are aware of your situation. That is very different than saying, don't ask scholars. La hawla wa quwwata illa billah. Ask ulama who understand your needs, your dynamics. And there are 1,000,001 examples that I can give, and classical fiqh can be quoted. Ibn al-Qayyim himself said that half of fiqh is understanding the context of the fatwa. Half of fiqh is to understand the context of the person asking the question. And there are so many examples that can be given, and I don't want to bore you with the details. I simply want to say this is simply not true. All I'm saying, go to ulama. I didn't say go to the baker and ask your fatwa from him. Go to ulama who understand the situation you're living in. And again, I don't wish to praise your local ulama and scholarship, but mashallah, Allah has blessed you with a great imam in your midst, a great scholar in your midst. It's your job to go to him. Now, if Shaykh Abdul Qayyum himself feels stumped, I don't know what to do. It's his job to go to ulama in other lands and countries. You should ask local scholars, because Shaykh Abdul Qayyum understands your situation. He understands you and your culture and dynamics. If you ask somebody from another country, they might not fully understand what is going on here. And they might give a fatwa that is more appropriate to their societies than it is. And yes, there are differences in the minutiae of fiqh from culture to culture and land to land. Anybody who denies this, I'm not saying the haram and halal changes. I'm saying the finer details change. The finer details of law, the finer details of interaction, they change. And what we call masalih and mafasid, which are pros and cons, they must be weighed in accordance with the reality of the situation. Let me give you a very simplistic scenario. And again, it is not related to fiqh. I'm just trying to make you understand the issue here. Suppose your London Underground system was going under renovations, and one of the lines, what is it, Piccadilly line, I don't know, I'm not that well familiar. The Piccadilly line is closed, okay? Now, Would any of you think that it is worthwhile to call up a sheikh and say, Sheikh, the Piccadilly line is closed. Should I go, give me another line, district line, central line, do this, do that. Now, suppose the sheikh actually knows the underground, he has a map. He will tell you, okay, take the underground here, take the Piccadilly, take this, take that. You yourself will say, no, but sheikh, if I take the central, it'll take me 5 minutes to transfer from this train to that train. It actually makes sense that the map wouldn't tell you. I know because I've been on the underground, I actually take, give me another line, red line, the district line. I take the district line and the transfer will be easier for me. Even though from the map it looks like I'm going further away. Now, obviously the situation is not that simplistic, but what I'm telling you, most of your fiqh involves a bit of Islam and a bit of Piccadilly line. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, right? Sheikh, I have a co-worker who is such and such. Sheikh, I want to do this business transaction. Now, the Sheikh's country, if you call overseas, there is no haram business at all, let's say. And in your country, 99% of the stuff is haram. You're trying to do the least haram. You understand? From his perspective, it's all haram. So the fatwa that you will get will not be realistic, even though the Sheikh might be right from what he is saying. Whereas if you go to Shaykh Abdul Qayyum takes, mashallah, you take the district line, right? You take Piccadilly, you understand. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you disagree and you want to make long distance calls, that's your business. I'm not saying, astaghfirullah, it's wrong to do so. I'm simply saying what the Sharia teaches us is that ulama are those who understand the text and the context. That's what I'm saying. And if Shaykh Abdul Qayyum does not know an issue, he has the context with far greater ulama. It's his job to outsource, not yours. You should not be jumping over Shaykh Abdul Qayyum, calling up somebody in Timbuktu or Saudi Arabia and saying, Shaykh, we have a local Imam Abdul Qayyum who said XYZ. No. You go to Shaykh Abdul Qayyum and to the local scholars here. And those scholars, if they have the need to, they will go higher reference. This is the hierarchy that common sense and Islamic law dictates. And I don't think, astaghfirullah, this is disrespect. I think it is respecting the scholars according to what Allah Azza wa Jal has given them. This is the response to the first one. Look, brothers and sisters, everybody is a human. I'm a human, Shaykh Abdul Qayyum is a human, you're all human. Sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes you make mistakes. Scholars are not infallible. If you find a mistake in me or in any other scholar, there's a proper methodology to deal with it. Deal with it and look at the positive as well. To concentrate only on the negative is not a part of Islam. You look at the positive, you look at the negative, and you see overall what is the best way to correct this methodology. I am a human being, and I will make mistakes. I have made mistakes. I will continue to make mistakes. But I pray to Allah that Allah makes my mistakes insignificant compared to the good. And I ask you, if you find such a mistake, make dua to Allah to forgive and then correct in a positive, in a manner that is productive for the ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always cause us to be followers of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, respectful of our ulama, following the salaf of this ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cause us to live as Muslims, to die as mu'mins, and to be resurrected with the anbiya and the siddiqeen and the shuhada and the salihin. Wa hasbuna ulaika rafiqa wa jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.